My little kitties, today we're going to discuss your wonderful question. How do you find the strength to leave when you're scared of being alone? I understand, but we always end up together again. It's very important to distinguish between these things. It comes down to whether you're truly afraid of being alone or if you're devaluing your partner, which is often a sign of an avoidant attachment style. Because it might turn out that you devalue him to avoid getting hurt, to avoid making yourself vulnerable, to avoid getting too close, and you end up dreaming and fantasizing about your ex or about some imagined future. Or maybe you liked someone at work, and in your head you keep fantasizing, thinking, and it's as if it's real, even though it might just be temporary. I'll get by now, but spending half my life with him doesn't matter. But this is just a passing option for me. And here, it's worth facing the truth, doing a little self-diagnosis to see what part of this is reality. If you find yourself in some anxious or phobic states, and you're really afraid of being alone, then you need to look at what those feelings are made of. Because what are these fears filled with? It could be fear of being raped, fear of being robbed, fear of ghosts, fear of the dark, fear of many, many things. So this loneliness can include a lot of other things too. That's why it's also important to clarify all of this down to the smallest details, because there really is a sad situation here, and this is why. So if these are avoidant attachment patterns and you simply devalue your partner, then there aren't really any significant losses here. For the most part, you live with your person, but because of your own characteristics, you're just not able to appreciate them. It's more pleasant, familiar, understandable, easier and simpler for you than feeling vulnerable and emotionally open. But it's much sadder when you really let this fear of loneliness guide you and end up living with a pet. Because many women actually talk about their partner, the person they've lived with for many years, in this way, that he's already like some mutt, like some dog lying somewhere at their feet, and that makes them feel calmer. And you realize that there's no money, no sex, he's not attractive, he's all fat, sweaty, doesn't take care of himself, drinks beer. So we have nothing to talk about. I honestly don't understand what I'm doing with this person, and this happens a lot. And we're only together because I don't want to be alone. Because when he's just a little held up at work, I start to feel really bad. I want to go out, climb the walls. And it gets kind of creepy, scary, and uncomfortable. And so the next time something like this happens to you, when you find yourself alone, even if it's just for a few hours or for one night, your task is to do a sort of self-diagnosis, to figure out what this loneliness is made of, what it feels like. Because many people describe it like going to a summer camp. When your mom leaves, she leaves you there, and you start to feel really bad. It's like there is something clawing at your soul, as if there's a kind of longing, and at the same time, nostalgia. So it's a mix of so many feelings, extremely heavy ones that are really hard to handle. It's like you're left all alone, just with yourself, facing something you've always tried to run away from. And this is a great practice to stay with it, to look at it, to explore it. And to write things down, to observe, and maybe even make a whole new discovery for yourself. To dive into these insights, because this will be an extremely valuable experience for you. Try not to run away, not to instantly fill this silence with the TV, some music, or by frantically turning on all the lights. Of course, I could recommend, well, listen, you could get a dog, you could go traveling with your girlfriends and so on, and that's actually great. And at the same time, I urge you to really stay in this state, to actually look at what exactly it consists of. Because that will already be half the work in solving this issue. So, next question, my friends, next question. So, how do you avoid getting attached to people? About getting attached to people in general, it could be some girlfriends, co-workers, or maybe some students in your group. And this attachment actually comes from the first part of the question, by the way, where it seems like a person doesn't know what direction to take in life or what they want. And this is about a certain difficulty with self-identity and understanding your sense of self and your personal boundaries. And your own desires in general, your ideas about what you would or wouldn't want. Here too, it's extremely helpful to spend some time in this solitude and to explore yourself, and each time ask yourself, what do I want to watch? What do I want to eat? What do I want to wear? And what do I think? My dears, to watch the full 45 minutes of this video, please follow the link in the description and subscribe to my private Telegram channel.